I have always admired your tenacity and your drive for everything that you do in life from, the very first day that I've met you until now. You do everything with excellence, from raising your kids to being a husband to the freelance work that you do. All that sort of stuff is incredible. And
I appreciate it.
I wanted to just interview so people can get an idea of who you are.
Yeah.
Kind of get a picture with the face and all that sort of stuff. But the question that I wanted to ask you is if you had any embarrassing story that involves me that you wouldn't mind sharing. Because as much as I'm trying to show your personality, this is kind of giving
of course,
background into me as well. So
interesting. I mean, the funny thing is, whenever story times come that involve you, it immediately goes back to the old house, the Brown house.
Oh yeah, yep.
Immediately. but the one story, I guess the one story that always is in the back of Jeremy and my mind, we talked about it not too long ago, was when you and Curtis had the plan to fling me with your feet. You remember that?
I do. And,
I got hurt
it's
so
funny
bad.
because that's the story that always comes to front of mind with you, and like the crazy stories that you share with different people of, what are the things that you used to do with your brothers?
Uh-huh.
Oh man, we had this brown house and down in the basement, and we thought it was this great idea to launch Joel from our feet from the couch to see how high we could get you up in the air.
Truthfully, that'll always be in my head.
Yeah. You landed kind of on your back, but it was like more like your shoulders and back completely knocked the wind out of you.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything for like 30 seconds, and I just remember Curtis looking at me like, oh crap, we killed him.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, and I can't imagine if you could have recorded how dumb we probably looked. And look at us now.
It's probably a good thing that, social media and access to cell phone cameras and things weren't around, because we would have been in so much trouble.
Correct.
Just, the more we tell our parents, they're like, wait, you did what?
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's not at all. I mean, I'm just talking right now. It was, what can we do that's interesting and dangerous? That was literally what was going through my mind.
What can you do that's terrifying? Let's do a terrifying stunt. We got a free volunteer every time.
Yeah.
I know.
And you did volunteer. You were like, I'll do it.
God, it scarred me. See?
I'm sorry. I go on record. I
lack the launch, okay? Let's be real here.
Yeah, one was probably worse than the other, and it's probably still leaning the launch.
That's right.
Let's be realistic. And I would love to be able to do an individual song just for you, but I don't have enough CD space, because the song that I have for you would be the entire album. This is Jeremy, and Jeremy's an incredible dad, businessman, husband, served our country for a number of years, so absolutely proud of him. And this is Jeremy. And if there was anything, this is kind of the question route that I'm going. If there's a memory that you have of you and I growing up, that's the first thing that comes to mind, what would that be?
It was I think it's what forced Joel and I down the military path, was when you would conduct raids with our G.I. Joes.
Oh, yes.
Some of Christie's Barbies.
Yep. Yeah, because they had to be involved.
Yes, the shows you would put on for us. Many a times the G.I. Joes would be dancing, and the infamous, yes. that's where it all came from.
That's right.
Which carries on to you and Sarah today.
That is true. I said keep it PG.
Yes, it is. It's PG. That was probably it, is the hours we would spend down there watching you put on shows and your voices and everything else that you would do to entertain us. And then what was that? Actually, it was the same house. I can't remember the specifics of it, but I remember hearing you screaming or yelling in the middle of the night, something like that. I remember whatever it was, and I remember I heard a big thud.
Yeah.
And came into the room, and I think you're on your back, and I'm curious as to what was happening. You were talking about how you had a nightmare or a dream about a squirrel driving a taxi with a cigar.
Yeah. Yep.
Something along those lines.
I wondered if that story might pop up. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember the dream at all, but yet I remember you coming into the room, and that was like the topic of conversation for a while after that. It's like, any squirrels driving taxis?
Yeah. Well, because I think that was the first time that I actually stayed, because I remember Mom and Joel and Christy, they all went to Jefferson, I think. So it was just me, you, and Dad. And I remember after that, when you were on the ground next morning, it's like, who's this guy?
This guy's crazy. So I'm with my sister, Christy, who lives in Des Moines. I wanted to highlight everybody because everybody has, in my family, really had an impact on who I am as a person as well as a musician. And that definitely includes you, because you've had a major impact in my life, just as Jeremy, Joel, Mike, and everybody else has. And think you're a fantastic mother. So if there is an embarrassing story or something funny or something that I might not share about myself with my audience, what would that one thing possibly be? And be gentle.
Just one.
Yeah, there's probably more than one. Well, not probably. I know there's more than one.
One of the things that when I think of my brother Jason, when I think of you, I think of your commitment and your passion in the music industry. And it's inspired me because you stuck with it, and there's longevity and there's tenure. And I can't tell you the countless amount of people that I have told about your journey and how you've developed from just, a little boy in high school, and how you've developed your talent and how many miles you've walked since then, and the people you've met along the way that have influenced your passion for music. And it wasn't just something that you just wanted to do on the side. It became a love to teach and influence others through, and then it impacted your family. And so you've never given up, and you've just continued and you've pursued it. And so that's been something that I've always taken with me. So I don't know if I have anything embarrassing. I wish I did.
Oh, honestly, I was hoping that the story of us sitting in the back of the van, driving to wherever it might be, and we would be singing and trying to harmonize. Not just you and I, but Jeremy especially was absolutely gorgeous voice as a 8-9-year-old.
I forget about that. That's funny.
Yeah. So, musical influences. I just remember, the Klobnak Quartet sitting in the back of the van trying to harmonize, and the only person that sounded good singing was you. But the rest of the guys were definitely bringing you down, not just in vocals, but I thought maybe that might be one of the stories, but I threw that in anyway.
Thank you for throwing that in there.